Volume 2, Number 2, Deadside Part 2, released in April 1997. This one opens with our hero, Zero, ordering yet another vodka to the chagrin of Josie, who unsuccessfully attempts to convince him to drink anything other than vodka, such as beer instead. Zero is once again fixated on the teddy bear, having the same daydream about the gates and the echo of the same incomplete thought as before. This incomplete thought will be fully realized shortly, but remember it will be important. There are a few visitors that enter the bar, and we will return to that in a moment. Bones and the Dead Men are continuing a debate from the previous book, the lyrics of the Dukes of Hazzard theme song. This is a perfect example of the morbid humor I had referenced in the last video, as Tommy Lee Bones asks Jawbone for his opinion, but Jawbone can't speak because he, of course, does not have the bottom half of his mouth. All he can do is grunt, and Bones takes this as an agreement. After a few more cases of vehicular homicide, we go back to the Wild at Heart. Back to the strange visitors I mentioned earlier. Two people enter the bar and both are promptly shot directly in the forehead by Zero. Jesus Christ, dude, chill out. They survive this encounter considering they are Jaunty and Nettie. They've come to officially recruit Zero as the new Shadow Man, and he has absolutely zero interest, pun intended. Nettie and Jaunty do their best to change his mind, and Jaunty has a bit of an argument with Josie. Zero enters a trance, once again envisioning the mysterious gates. I've mentioned Deadside a few times before, and here's where Nettie gives a brief explanation. Deadside is canonically referred to as the place where everyone goes, without exception, when they die. It seems to be a sort of hollow, cold purgatory. It's not heaven, it's not hell, it's nothing. A large void. Zero agrees to become Shadow Man once he is made aware that he will be able to cross over between Liveside and Deadside at will. Back to the Dead Men, we see yet another funny scene in which they play a game of judge, jury, and executioner as they eliminate an entire police station's worth of cops, ones that weren't already killed by way of vehicular homicide, before literally smelling the magic Nettie is using to convert Zero into the new Shadow Man. The jail scene contains some of the funniest dialogue between Bones and the Dead Men and one of the police officers. This book is worth buying just for these pages alone, but it gets so much better. Back at the Wild at Heart, Nettie and Zero are in a separate room. This conversion process is extremely painful and loud, as Nettie does not have enough power to use the proper voodoo to make it a painless experience, forcibly putting the Mask of Shadows into Zero's chest. We also receive the backstory of Jaunty and how he was murdered, which is, as per usual for the series, morbidly hilarious. He was killed in a botched voodoo experiment by a group of university students after he was captured whilst drunkenly urinating outside on the way home from the pub. The only way to undo this curse and release himself from this Deadside purgatory was to become a spy for Nettie. This is what I was referencing in the previous video in regards to his negligence. He was not paying attention when the Dead Men escaped into Liveside, and they were able to kill Jack Boniface and thought they killed Nettie. Jaunty is also a walker between worlds, and when pressed by Josie as to why Zero is needed when Jaunty can walk between worlds, it is revealed the specific reason is because Zero can fight and Jaunty can't. At the conclusion of the brutally painful conversion into Shadow Man, the Dead Men drive their car directly into the Wild at Heart and immediately demand answers as to where this magic is emanating from. The answer emerges from a doorway, eyes and chest glowing, and it is revealed to Bones that he did not permanently kill Nettie before Shadow Man proceeds to beat the dog shit out of the Dead Men before having his heart ripped out by Bones. The ending panel of this comic, shown on screen, cracks me up like a child every time I see it. To recap, Zero becomes the new Shadow Man, we learn the backstory of Jaunty, and Tommy Lee Bones becomes aware of the fact that not only is Nettie still alive, she has created a new Shadow Man. What happened to Zero after he was murdered? Did the Dead Men survive the encounter? Find out next time when we explore Issue 3. Thank you for watching. The conclusion of the brutally... Please, remember to put that at the end of the video. Brutifully.